Okay, so let's talk about adaptogens. You see them everywhere, right? In your coffee and supplements, all over social media, promising this amazing natural way to fight stress. But what's the real story here? Are these ancient herbs the answer to our modern problems? Or is it all just really, really good marketing? Well, we're going to get into it.
And this quote, wow, it just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? That feeling of being stretched thin, of just running on fumes. It's the reason millions of us are looking for something, anything, to help us cope. And that search, for a lot of people, leads right back to nature. To this idea that maybe, just maybe, the solution has been around for centuries, hidden in traditional medicine. It's a really hopeful thought. So let's see if it holds up.
All right, so let's properly introduce these so-called stress-fighting superstars. They're not new, not at all. They've been staples in things like Ayurvedic and traditional Chinese medicine for ages. But lately, they have absolutely blown up in the wellness world.
And when I say blown up, I am not kidding. We're talking about an $8.2 billion market for this stuff. That number alone tells you everything you need to know about how desperate we are to find an edge against stress and that feeling of mental fog.
And just look at how fast this is moving. Take Rhodiola Rosea, a super popular one. Search interest for it has skyrocketed by 173% in just a single year. That's not a trend, folks. That's a wildfire of curiosity. So what exactly is an adaptogen? Well, the main idea is that they don't work like caffeine, which just pushes you in one direction, up. Instead, they're supposed to be smarter. They help your body find its own natural balance, its equilibrium. Think of them like a thermostat for your stress, gently nudging you back to a comfortable state.
Now, this is super important. Not all adaptogens do the same thing. You've got ashwagandha, which you can think of as the calmer. It's the one people reach for to help with anxiety and sleep. But then you have rhodiola, the energizer, which is all about fighting fatigue and boosting your performance. Same problem, stress, but they tackle it from totally different angle.
So how in the world are they supposed to do all this? Well, the science behind it, or the proposed science, is actually pretty fascinating. It gets right to the heart of how our bodies manage stress. Let's talk about something called the HPA axis. You can just think of it as your body's stress response headquarters. When something stressful happens, a tight deadline, a bad commute, this system kicks into gear and tells your adrenal glands to pump out the famous stress hormone, cortisol. So here's how it plays out. Step 1, stress happens. Step 2, your brain sounds the alarm to the HPA axis. Step 3, boom, cortisol hits your system. That's your fight or flight kicking in, which is great if you're, running from a tiger. But when that system is always on, you get burnout. The theory is that adaptogens step in right here at step 4 and act like a buffer, telling that response to just chill out a little. And there is some real data to suggest this might be happening. A pretty well-known study on ashwagandha from 2012 found that people taking it saw their cortisol levels drop by almost 28%. I mean, that's a measurable, significant drop. That's not nothing. Okay, so the theory sounds good, and some of the science is intriguing. But now we gotta have a little reality check, because the full story, as always, is a lot more complicated. Right? With this much excitement and this much money flying around, you just know there has to be a catch. So what is it? Well, here it is, pretty bluntly. Major regulatory bodies like the FDA here in the States or the EMA in Europe, they don't even recognize adaptogen as a real scientific thing. To them, it's a quote-unquote garbage marketing term. Ouch. That basically means it's a term used to sell products, not a recognized medical classification. And here's the really tricky part, the lack of regulation. Unlike a prescription drug, most of these supplements aren't standardized, so the amount of the active ingredient you get in one bottle could be way different from the next. And they don't go through the same intense safety and effectiveness testing. This has real consequences. Just last year, Denmark actually banned ashwagandha because they couldn't figure out what a reliably safe dose even was. And you have to remember, just because something is natural doesn't mean it's harmless. These plants are powerful. Ashwagandha can mess with thyroid medication. Ginseng can be a really bad idea for someone with high blood pressure. Reishi and chaga can interact with blood thinners. You really, really have to know what you're doing and talk to a doctor before you start experimenting. So after all that, where do we land? Are adaptogens a scam or are they a solution? Well, like with most things in life, the real answer is probably somewhere in the middle. It's all about changing how we think about them. I think this quote just says it all. Adaptogens aren't a magic wand you can wave to make your stress disappear. They're not a shortcut. The smartest way to see them is as multipliers, things that can make the good stuff you're already doing even better. And here's what that actually looks like. Taking ashwagandha might work, but taking it while also getting a solid 8 hours of sleep every night, that's where you'll see the real benefit. Taking rhodiola before a workout can help your endurance, sure, but it can't lift the weights for you. The big idea is this: they amplify, they don't replace. They can't do the heavy lifting of a healthy lifestyle for you.
And I guess that leads us to the biggest question of all, one we should probably all ask ourselves. In this whole search for balance, are we really just looking for a better pill to pop? Or are we looking for a better way to live? Something to think about.